When Jaguar Wright started discussing the new Diddy documentary, she made it clear from the start that almost nothing in it was news to her. She's been close to the story for years, watching from the sidelines, and for the most part, she already knew what would and wouldn't be included. But there was one moment that truly stood out, and honestly, it shocked many viewers. For the first time, Kirk Burroughs openly said he had been abused by Diddy.
And Kirk Burroughs was saying at the end of episode 4, when he first, dropped the bomb, that he had been essayed by Diddy. It's Kirk Burroughs.
Yeah.
Who has been there since the beginning.
That time, I didn't think nothing of it, that he was spending the night with Kirk Burroughs either every Wednesday night. He got a whole girl at home, but he's spending the night with Kirk Burroughs. He's staying at Kirk's house. Like, yo, all right, cool. Didn't think nothing of it. And then Kirk had made a mention to some people over the years that him and Puff used to wake up and pray together. And I'm in my mind, I know he's talking about saying prayers and all that shit like that. But in my other mind, I'm thinking you waking up with a dude praying? Shit is going on. Then there was a situation that somebody said a long time ago in the office. They caught Kirk giving Puff a in the office.
Even Gandil, who has witnessed Diddy involved in some of the worst crimes imaginable, was stunned and speechless when he learned what had happened to Kirk.
He sure telling the world now. He's forced to do this.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out why he didn't come out sooner. He also alleging that Diddy, forced him to give him jobs.
Oh my God. So you telling me that in the lawsuit, and I seen it, man, that he forced him to sing in the mic. And it wasn't in the studio.
Yeah, that's what he claiming.
Yo, bro, it's crazy. It's real crazy that Kirk is alleging all these things that people always said back then. I remember when me and you had a conversation about this years ago, and you asked me, was I going to talk about it? I said, no, I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to let him talk about it. I didn't know he was going to do this lawsuit and put this shit in there. But I told you years ago that I'm not going to talk about it until he talks about it.
What makes Kirk's revelation so significant is that he saw events unfold firsthand over 30 years ago. He was close to Diddy during the most formative years of his life and knows him inside and out. To Jaguar, Kirk's account confirms much of what people have quietly whispered about behind closed doors for decades.
He said people keep pretending like all of the stuff that they hear about Diddy is something that's new. He's been doing these things. He's a witness to offenses that happened over 30 years ago.
Jaguar also highlighted parts of Diddy's story that didn't fully make it into the documentary, especially regarding his childhood and upbringing. She believes he told a lot of lies early on to his image spotless.
I believe that he was victimized, and I think it happened long before the industry. People really don't want to look closer into his childhood and to what his mama had going on in their house. God knows what he saw and what happened to him in his own mama house. All of those strangers, them up involved, looking around, seeing what was going on. And let's just be clear, it sounds like her house was a house of, professional freak-offs. So who knows what he saw or what could have happened to him while she was busy entertaining people and pouring and getting tips, as she would say, for her after-hour life.
Oh, yeah. He was, I'm going to say he was surprised to hear that.
School bus driver. No, was he surprised or was he like, zip it, you talking too much? Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like you talking a little bit too much. They don't need to know about that. While she was sitting there, oh, because I was a bus driver and I was this, and I worked at the after hours. And I would pour them drinks and they would give me big tips.
She didn't say it just like that. Big tips. You know, in
big tip and spending cheese.
In Sean's own words, in Diddy's own words, he had said he had a sigh of relief learning that he was the son of a hustler or a gangster. Like he wanted that status. He wanted to say that he was like a sigh of relief is a wild thing to say, that your daddy was a gangster or a hustler. That's what you heard that he was.
Well, I mean, like Tim said, they had a bunch of blaxploitation movies being played around the house all the time. They grew up with the Mac playing. They grew up with Superfly playing. Like, I mean, if that's what you got going on, you got two women in the house and there's no men around, and these are what the little boys are watching. You got basketball players coming over late at night. You got hustlers coming over, PIMPs coming over, women who look like they were modeling for Jet magazine coming over. Like, it sounds like the nature of the environment is what shaped their perception of what cool was. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure for him it was, oh man, that's who my dad.
She added that she has always thought of Diddy as someone who was, at one point, also a victim, likely during his childhood, because of the neglectful and extreme lifestyle his parents lived.
It's kind of interesting. They said he didn't smoke and he didn't drink, but throughout all the Biggie's promo, every time you saw him, he had a bottle of champagne. They was drinking Moet all of the time. You know, so I guess they don't consider cases of champagne and everybody having their own bottle and drinking out of their own bottle like it was a 40 ounce. I guess they don't consider that drinking, but I mean, I digress.
There was a part where he was going back and forth with Andre Harrell and he was saying, I'm going to be drunk and high by Wednesday. I don't know. So I'm like, it seemed like the ship happened quickly when it comes to being introduced into this thing, you know, into this industry. So he's technically he might be a victim.
Diddy's father, whom he had looked up to, ended up becoming a hustler, getting caught up in crime, turning informant, and facing brutal consequences. Jaguar explained that this kind of family background, combined with his environment, the media, and the immense pressure to become powerful, shaped who Diddy became. She said he began to see himself as above the law, a belief reflected in the documentary. One moment she highlights is especially revealing. Diddy was filming everything, from the moment federal agents appeared near his hotel room. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't afraid. He was literally recording them back.
That you know, that they have this footage and however they got it. Mm-hmm. The fact that it exists is like, Diddy, why would you even start recording this? Like, why would you even give us this leverage to even put this thing out? Please give us some tips. Well, I wouldn't call it leverage, but go ahead.
Well, the whole point of him filming this whole thing was because I'm sure that he planned on doing his own documentary. This is an extreme narcissist you're talking about. Extreme. He's sitting there with feds, an eye shot away from his hotel suite, filming his hotel room, and he's looking at them and he's filming them right back. He's literally saying in certain parts, yeah, make sure you're filming all of this because we need to get some, some cutaway shots.
That's wild.
No, he was literally, did nobody pay attention to that?
Oh, I saw it.
Like he said, yeah, make sure you're filming all of this. We need this for cutaways. Like you're sitting here collecting footage, like a director, like an AD.
Jaguar explained this wasn't a random act. In her view, it was classic Diddy behavior, a narcissist trying to control the entire story. She believes he was planning to make his own version of events, essentially starring as the hero in his own movie. But what shocked her most wasn't just the filming. It was what he and his lawyer said while the cameras were rolling.
But when you've got a lawyer like Mark Agnifilo, who is orchestrating your possible surrender, because as you heard him say in the beginning of the documentary, he was very clear. It's almost the middle of September and there's no indictment. As you heard Diddy say, I've been an exemplary client like you've asked. You said I've been an excellent client. I came here. I did everything you asked me to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're literally having this conversation.
Yeah, in that conversation, Diddy was worried about the outlook of the public versus the victims.
The outlook of the public? Oh, he was worried a lot more than that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think? He literally sat there and said, we need comms. He's sitting there talking like an evil dictator. We need comms. We need a way into this conversation. We're losing, he said. We're losing. Losing what? What are we losing? But the key words that he said that were so important were, we need to be able to be speaking to the potential juror.
Essentially, Diddy wanted to control the narrative before anything official had even happened. Jaguar pointed out how dangerous that is. When someone with that much money and influence can shape public opinion before a trial, how can everyday people expect justice? She emphasized that victims often have nowhere to turn. The boss could be the abuser. The police could be compromised. Even a strong prosecutor might suddenly reassign.
You might only be the guy that watches CNN, but there's 9 billion people in the world, and 7 billion of them are on Instagram or TikTok. We need to have control of that. He said we need to know how these potential jurors are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
Facts.
So what does that mean? He hadn't even been arrested yet. He hadn't even been taken into custody yet. Damian Williams hadn't come forward yet with a list of the charges that they were charging him with and what they were taking him to trial for. That didn't happen until December.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, they were losing? Losing what? Losing at what? We need to have control of comms. We need to make sure that we know how the potential jurors are thinking.
Very true.
How does that not sound like anything other than what it is?
Mm-hmm.
They were looking to infect the jury pool as early as possible. They were hoping to infect the jury pool, to see a lawyer sitting on the phone, having a conversation with a man who was about to be charged with some of the most heinous acts known in recent.
Meanwhile, the powerful move freely behind the scenes. Jaguar also compared the stampede Diddy caused at a college basketball game in 1991 to the tragedy at Travis Scott's Astroworld. Her warning, be cautious of anyone who works so hard to dodge responsibility and financial liability. Gan Deal has shared his own recollections of that tragedy, and what stands out is how indifferent Diddy and his closest associates were to the people hurt and killed in the chaos.
Did a walk around, so I walked around the top of the floor, went down the steps and went in the gym, and then came across the gym, and I seen that you can go up the steps and be right there at the front door. So everybody was coming in. You seen Dougie Fresh, Red Alert, they was on the mic. People start coming in and everything. It was cool. And then when LL Cool J and Mike Tyson showed up, that shit must have went pandemonium. They must have broke through the first doors where the FOIs was and came to the door where we was inside at. And it was a glass door. that they were crowded at in the glass door, and people were steady pushing the people through the door, whereas that they pushed the people so hard that the glass broke and people fell through the glass doors at the top of the stairs. And when people fell through the door at the top of the store, we grabbed this girl. You know, she was pregnant. We later found out that was Father MC's baby's mother. And she died that day with her baby inside her. And you could see that she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She had to be like 6 or 7 months pregnant. So we grabbed her and helped her up. And then she ended up going downstairs when we had got her out the way. So they got trapped down the stairs. After they broke through the first glass, they got trapped downstairs through the second door because Jessica had got scared. That was Puffy partner at the time, Jessica Rosenberg. She got scared, ran downstairs with the money box and shut the door behind her. And all those people got shut down in there and got trapped.
Right. 9 people died that day. 29 others were injured. And I guess Nice and Smooth's bodyguard was one of the people that got killed.
My man, let me tell you something. That dude was about 6'4". He had a white t-shirt on, I think with khaki pants. I was over there trying to resuscitate him, and I was like, this.
Jaguar explained that no one faced serious consequences for that college incident. Instead, Diddy protected his finances early by putting Bad Boy in his mother's name, making it impossible to seize those assets. She described it as a calculated move to shield himself from lawsuits later on.
His business in his mother's name, and the U.S. attorneys trying to go after Rico that he used his business as an enterprise to do these deviant things.
Yeah.
Technically, if he's just getting, let's say, small payments from his mom, he's not technically using the business. Do you think that they barked up the wrong tree to even lose this trial based on him saying that, hey, I'm not even the owner of Bad Boy. I'm just let's say an employee who just gets payments to do little small things. Shouldn't they have like realized that or like noticed like, all right, we can't trace the money back to the owner of Bad Boy?
Well, see, that's the thing. That was for Kurt Burrow's case. What about now? Because Combs Enterprise, all of it is not owned by Janice Combs. His name is on stuff. A lot of stuff. Like a lot of these things that happen, it's not like back then it was Bad Boy, Combs Enterprise. There's a bunch of different stuff that falls up underneath that umbrella. And it ain't all in Janice's, it's not all in Janice's name. It's not. Good portion of it is, but not all. Like people have to be wary about anybody who goes through this much trouble to evade responsibility and financial liability. Because even if it's not all in his name, even if it isn't all him, even if it were all in his mother's name, then that would mean that his mother is the one that's running the criminal organization, and she's been aiding and abetting his very sick behavior for decades.
Hey.
It sounds like they should have made sure that she was added to everything. If that's the case. Because if he's just an employee and he's just being paid for his services, then that means that all of this stuff was going on up underneath her nose, and there's no way she didn't know about it. She was involved and present for too much.
She then talked about how the government doesn't miss things this significant. She compared it to Al Capone. Authorities knew he was corrupt, but didn't charge him directly for all his crimes to avoid exposing their own flaws. Instead, they hit him with tax charges. Jaguar suggested that sometimes big stories are cleaned up to protect the powerful. She also noted 2 major figures, Jay-Z and Clive Davis, who long collaborated with Diddy and helped his empire thrive. Yet neither is mentioned in the documentary. She questioned why.
He wasn't mentioned at all in any of this documentary. Yet he was there for so much of it. Because right after the diddler beat the crap out of Steve Stout, the Jigger Man poked up under Rivera. Not long after that. All of this stuff happened around the same time.
Why do you think Jay-Z wasn't involved in none of this?
Well, I mean, he was involved in a lot of it. You mean, why wasn't he mentioned?
Yeah, mentioned in the documentary at all.
I mean, there was a lot of people that weren't mentioned. Matter of fact, not too many people in the industry were mentioned who were there and present. Isn't that cute?
Very true.
They found a way to tell that story while they kept everybody else calm.
Jaguar went on to discuss other parts of history the documentary barely touched. For example, the East Coast versus West Coast feud, which she claims was actually a personal conflict between Diddy and Suge, not an entire coast. She also said the film didn't go deep enough into Diddy's connections with Zip, the Crips, or the murder of Tupac. On that note, a major update. The main suspect in Tupac's case, Keith D., has publicly called on Diddy to acknowledge him after claiming he helped Diddy eliminate Pac.
Sean, you had an issue with the way Diddy was treating him, right?
I just think Puff, he needs to be a stand-up man. That dude sat up there and did that time for you or nothing like that. Then you got this man living down there in police, living all fucking bad, man. You seem like you just leave your people for dead, man. That shit wrong, dude. Gene Deal complaining about you. I'm complaining about you. You ain't. I heard one of my homies from 30s. I heard he get every quarter he get his clothes, all this shit. Then you gave this other dude a brand new Benzo or Maybach. Another piece of the record company. God damn, homie. I was on top of the world till I met your motherfucker ass, dude. Shit is wrong, dude. Come on, homie. I need something to throw a dog a bone or something. Fuck. Sit up there talking about you, daddy love. Show us some love. Man, you know what I'm saying? There's ways around that, homie. Throw my kids something. Throw somebody kids something. God damn. Daddy love. You ain't no love. That ain't love at all. That's some bull. That ain't cool, dude. You know what I'm saying? Swear, man. Gene Deal, Sean, Keefy D, just everybody, man. God damn. You just leave bad tastes in everybody's mouth, man. Come on, homie. Damn. You forgot where you come from. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm like some grass and shit. You know I was in jail. Nigga ain't throw a noodle. What you call that shit? You put the hot water on, man. God damn. Yeah. Life ain't been the same, bro. Man, shit. I was getting 300 kilos a month, man. Balling, man. Didn't nobody know about me. My shit was smooth, dude. My shit was laid out smooth, man. I met your motherfucker and all the heat and thunder coming around with your motherfucker.
Other revelations from the documentary have flown under the radar. One example is the allegations made by Aubrey O'Day. Her comments stirred controversy, and Jaguar shared exactly what she remembered from those statements without holding back.
I'ma drug them out and pimp them out to my niggas. They keep fucking with me. And he was talking about Danny D. Kane as a group. He didn't single out any one of them. But to hear that he did it, that shit is crazy to me. We had a big argument and we started talking about each other and what niggas had and what he didn't have. He was calling me, yo, you broke cop. This like, nigga, you ain't got nothing I ain't got. I got a watch, you got a watch. I got a ring, you got a ring, I got a chain, I got a home. We went through that whole shit like that. I start talking about his teeth. You understand? I start talking about, him, his breath, everything. We was going at each other. That next day at his house, he said, yo, Gene, he called me upstairs and he said, yo, Gene, I couldn't talk to him like that no more in front of people and everything like that. Cause I know me and Puff go back from the same gang since 89, 90 when he got jumped in it. You understand? We go back way to that time. So I knew him. You understand? He was like a little nephew. So when he started talking that shit to me, I said, yo, listen here, bro. You don't say shit about me, I won't say shit about you. If you say something, you open up your mouth about me, I'm going to talk about all your green dentures and all that shit like that. We're not playing them games, bro. Monty, do you understand what I'm saying? I heard him say that he was going to drug them out and pimp them out to his niggas. And then to hear the text message that she was drugged out and he was having sex, that shit hurts, bro. That shit is fucked up. Do you know how fucked up that is, bro? I heard this nigga say this shit out of his mouth. But to know that he was doing it, that shit was crazy to me. It makes you feel sick, bro, because I guess I wasn't looking for it. But to see her pain and to see that she had to experience some shit like that, bro, and then the nigga was doing a lot of that shit right under your nose when the days that you wasn't working, or the days that you left early or you didn't and you wasn't around. This shit is crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro, because he know I wasn't that type of dude. You understand? And he tries everybody. He tries everybody. I'm not saying he never tried me. He tried me.
Seeing people step forward with these claims made Jaguar physically sick. She isn't alone in feeling that way. The allegations against Diddy, if true, are appalling on the most basic human level. Jaguar warned that these revelations could mark the end of the Diddy we've all known. She asked viewers what they thought about the situation and encouraged them to share their opinions in the comments. Want the latest shocking stories in music and entertainment? Subscribe to Haley Reporter and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you really think about Diddy?